So we are live again. Hi everyone, welcome back to Codera. Sorry for the network interruption in the last stream. So you can just quickly give a +1 in the chat if I am audible and visible to everyone, and then we will begin ahead with the session today. Okay. So I'll just wait for some time for other people to join in, and then after that immediately we'll begin with the session today. So you can just consider giving a +1 in the chat, and you can like the video if you haven't, so that we can begin ahead with the session. So today is the second session for game theory series that we are currently having, and today also we'll be discussing three problems. The first problem is Sasha and sticks, the second problem is card game for today, and the third problem that we'll be discussing today is 0-1 game. Okay, so all of you can just quickly give a +1 in the chat and like the video if you haven't done that, so that we can begin ahead. And apart from this, one more thing that I wanted to say is that I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for other people to join in, and then immediately after that we'll begin ahead with the session. Okay. Just waiting for others to join in, and then after that we'll begin immediately. Till then you can tell me like how many questions have you solved of DSA or competitive programming today, so that I also know that what is your progress. Right, just waiting for other people to join in. After that we'll begin immediately. Okay. Right, so I think that we should begin ahead. Okay, let's begin ahead with the problem statement. So the first problem is named as Sasha and sticks, and it was asked in CodeForces 425 round, rated for division 2, right? So let me read the problem statement first. So the problem says that it's one more school day now, and Sasha doesn't like classes and is always bored at them. So each day he invents some game and plays it alone or with other friends. So basically he invents a game and he plays it with him, either alone, or he can play that game with his friends. So today he invented one simple game to play with Lena, with whom he shares a desk. So Lena is his desk mate, and he has invented a game, simple game, which he'll be doing playing with Lena. So the rules are very simple. The rule is that Sasha draws n sticks in a n sticks in a row. After that, the player takes turns crossing out exactly k sticks from left or right in each turn, and Sasha moves first because, okay, hi Sethi, that's great, you are here. Right, so he has invented a game. Basically we have just started discussing the problem. So the name is Sasha and sticks, and Sasha has invented a game. The rules for this game are pretty simple. Sasha draws n sticks in a row. After that he plays he the player after that the player take turns crossing out exactly k sticks from left or right in each turn. Sasha moves first because he is the inventor of the game. If there are less than k sticks on the paper before some turn, the game the game ends. Sasha wins if he makes strictly more than if he's Sasha wins if he makes strictly more moves than Lena. So Sasha wants to know the result of the game before playing it. Okay, so I will just brief the question. But before that, since I can see that a lot of people have started joining, so I want to say that these are the three problems that we'll be discussing. The first problem is Sasha and sticks. The second problem is card game, and the third problem is 0-1 game. And these are all the problems that are based on games or games theory. So if you haven't liked the video, you can consider liking the video. Okay, and let me read the problem statement again. So basically Sasha has made a game, and this game, there are rules are simple. Sasha can draw n sticks in a row, right? He can draw n sticks in a row. After that, the player take turn crossing out exactly k sticks from left to right in each turn. Sasha will be moving first, and if there are less than k sticks on the paper, therefore each turn the game will end. So Sasha wants to win, right? So there are there are n sticks in a row, and after that the player takes turn crossing out exactly k sticks from left to right in each turn, right? In each turn you cross out, basically there are n sticks, right? And in each turn what you do is you cross out k sticks. A player crosses out exactly k sticks from left to right in each turn, and Sasha moves first. Sasha will start the game because he is the inventor of the game. If there are less than k sticks on the paper before some turn, so the game ends. Sasha will win if he can take more moves than compared to Lena, and otherwise Lena will win. Okay, so you have to determine who is the winner. So let's say if Sasha is the winner, so then in that case you will do this. So if say n is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1, right? So let's say there is only one stick, right? And then what will Sasha do? Sasha starts, and he will pick this stick up, and then after that when Lena comes in, so there will be no stick for her to pick. That is why who will win? Sasha wins, and you will print a yes, right? After this, let's move to the second test case. So if let's say 10 and 4, if there are 10 sticks, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So in this case what will happen is, in this case what happens is, first of all your k value is what? K value is 4, right? So what will you do in this case? In this case you can see that first of all Sasha will be picking these 4 sticks, right? Sasha picks up these 4 sticks. Then after that what will happen? After that you can see that next chance is for Lena. So Lena will pick these sticks from 5 to 8. Now Sasha comes in again. Okay, now Sasha comes in again. So he can see that there are not, at least k sticks are not available, right? Only 2 sticks are possible, 2 sticks are available, whereas total number of sticks that you require is 4, right? So that is why for this case what will be the answer? The answer will be no, because Sasha will not be able to make any move further. So that is why you will print simply a no in this case, and the answer will be that Lena will win, because basically Sasha loses. So that is why you will print no in this case. So is this much part clear to everyone? Just quickly write a +1 in the chat if, or write clear in the chat if this problem statement and the test cases are clear to everyone. If this much part is clear to everyone, then please quickly write +1 in the chat or write clear in the chat, so that we can move ahead. Shall we move shall we is this problem clear to everyone? Just quickly comment down below, so that I also know that if this problem is clear to everyone or not, right? Is this problem clear to everyone? Okay, clear, right? So what will happen in this case, right? So your answer, first of all, notice that this is a game theory question, right? You have to determine if he wins, then you have to print yes, if otherwise you have to print no, right? So if what is happening is, you have, let's say you have n bunches, right? You have total n sticks, right? Let's say you have n sticks, and in one move the player will pick k sticks, right? In one move, right? So who wins? Let's say there are, let's say you what will be the total number of bunches that you can pick, right? You can pick n by k. Can I say that I can pick n by k? I can total number of sticks, the total number of packets of size k will be n by k, right? If you will divide them such that each is of size k, each part is of size k, then this will be one part. Let's say this will be another part, right? This will be another part. Now let's say this will be another part, this can be another part, then after that this can be another part, right? So let's suppose that n by k is value is 4. If let's say n by k value is 4, so first of all Sasha will pick, right? After that Lena picks up, after that Sasha picks up, after that Lena picks up, and then after that when Sasha comes in, if n is equal to 4, so since 4 sticks have already been picked up, so Sasha will not be able to make a move, so he loses, right? He loses, right? Everyone will agree to this, right? And let's suppose that my n by k value, n by k is basically the number of complete sequences that we are having of size k. Okay, so if suppose that my n by k is equal to 5, So in this case, first of all, Sasha makes a move, right? And he'll be able to take. After that, you are left with 4 sticks, right? So after that, since you are left with 4 sticks, so Lena, 4 packets, right? So Lena comes in and Lena will take 1 packet. So yeah, right. If we have found if the answer is always yes. Basically, let's try to see this, okay? If k is greater than n by 2, if k is greater than n by 2, that basically the answer will depend on n by k value and not on this. I don't think that it will work, because if k is greater than n by 2, then in that case, what is the conclusion that you are trying to draw? You can just tell me that. Basically what I am trying to say is that Sasha comes in, right? Then again Sasha will come in, and the packet, like let's suppose that these are the 5 packets. So this first packet of size 4 will be taken by Sasha, right? Sasha takes this up. Then this packet will be taken by Lena. Then this packet will be taken by Sasha. And again this packet will be taken by Lena. This packet will be taken by Sasha. And then when Lena comes in, so there will be no packet. So that is why if the number of packets are 5, then who will win? Lena will win, right? Lena wins, or you can say that Sasha loses, right? Right. So in this case, if the number of packets are this, then you will print a no. Everyone agrees on this? Everyone agrees on this? Or is there any other approach that we can do for this? Can anyone would like to suggest anything else for this part? So what do you think that the possible answer can be? Can someone suggest me in the chat? Let me tell you. Let's try and see, okay? So basically everyone is clear with this much part, right? Let's try and make a pattern, right? If n by k is equal to 1, so in that case, Sasha, what are the total number of moves of Sasha? Sasha moves is 1 and Lena is 0, right? If I take n by k is equal to 2, you have to, a player wins when you have to print yes when the moves of Sasha is greater than Lena, okay? Right. So if n by k is equal to 2, then in that case Sasha is 1 and Lena is also 1, right? So in this case you have to print a no, because both are equal. Sasha is not greater. And in the first case you will print yes. If my n by k is equal to 3, right? So in this case Sasha will have 3 moves and Lena will have how many number of moves? Lena will have Sasha will not have 3 moves, sorry. Sasha will have 2 moves and Lena will have only 1 move, right? So you will print a yes because the number of moves for Sasha is greater, right? After that, if n by k is equal to 4, so you can see that Sasha is having 2 and Lena is also having 2. So Sasha is not greater, so that is why you will print a no. If n by k is equal to 5, so in that case Sasha is having 3 moves and Lena takes 2 moves. So who wins? Who will win in this case? Sasha will wins, right? So you will print a yes if Sasha wins, right? So can you observe some pattern? Can you tell me some pattern for this question? Can someone tell me any pattern for this question? Did we recognize any pattern for this question? Any pattern? Any sort of pattern that you were able to observe? Any pattern? Any pattern that you could observe? Just quickly comment down below. What is the pattern? Basically the number of bunches that you can pick is n by k, right? What do we observe from this? Can we take some conclusion from all these 5 base cases? Can we conclude something based upon this? Just quickly tell me in the chat. Is this something that you can recognize, any pattern? N by k is odd, then yes, yeah, right. So see, if it is odd, n by k is odd. All the cases where n by k is odd, you are printing a yes, because the number of moves for Sasha, if it is odd, then the number of moves for Sasha will be greater than the number of moves of Lena, right? So that is why you will print a yes. And if it is even, in all the cases when you are even, then you will print a no, right? So this is all for this question. I hope that you get this point, right? This was a simple problem only. So let's quickly try and implement this question. Let me before that see the input format. Okay, so the input format is like this. Okay, let me increase the size. Right. So what I'll be doing is, first of all, I'll be taking long let's say n and k. Right. So I'll take n and k as an input, and once I'm done with that, so what will I do next? If I will check first of all if my uh, if let's say my n by k mod 2 is equal to 1, so that means it is odd, right? If it is odd, then I will simply print a yes, right? Everyone will agree to this, that we need to print a yes, right? And in the else part I can simply print a no, right? Let's try and see whether this code works or not. Let's see whether it works or not. I've just submitted it. Okay, it got me a wrong answer on this case. Why? Am I making any errors? I think that there's some basic error that I might have made. Let me just look into it. Okay, so I'm taking n and k and then I am doing the cout part. Okay, so for this problem I think that is there any error? Reg, yes sir. T is equal to 1. Yeah, right. Okay, I forgot T is equal to 1. Right. In this only there will be one case. Sorry for that. uh, right, I get this. I thought it was already initialized to 1. Okay, let's try and see what does it get accepted or not. Right. Yeah, right. So you can see that it got accepted, right? This code got accepted. Let me show you the implementation again. Basically, you don't need a while loop, so you can remove this while loop as well. Basically, t value will be 1, and I'll be taking n and k as an input. Then the number of bunches that I can pick, the total number of bunches that I can pick is nothing but n by k. And if it's even, if it's odd, then I'll print a yes. Otherwise, I'll print a no. And we have already discussed this. So moving ahead with the second problem, I think let's move to the second problem now, and let's see what the second problem has to say. So this is the second problem that we have. Shall we move to the second problem? Okay, let's move to the second problem now, right? Yeah. So the second problem, it came in CodeForces Goodbye 2019. So CodeForces Goodbye contests, it will be coming next month only. I think it will be coming around, I think 30th December or somewhere around that time. So this was Goodbye 2019 contest. So let's quickly see the problem. What does the problem say? So the problem name is card game. Let's see what the problem says. So the problem says that two players decided to play an interesting card game. Okay, so two players have decided to play a card game, and it says further that there is a deck of n cards. Okay, so there are n cards which are having values 1 to n. So what should you do, right? So let's quickly write the informations that have been given to us. So there are n cards. Okay, there are n cards, and the cards are numbered from 1 to n. Okay, the cards, all the cards, let's say, let's not write this way, let's write this way. All the cards are numbered from 1 to n. Now let's read the statement further. So it says that the values of cards are pairwise distinct. So this is something that you will get very much in competitive programming problems. Pairwise distinct. So that means that no two cards have the same value. If it is written that pairwise distinct, so that means that all the cards from n to 1 to n are present, right? All the cards from 1 to n are present exactly once. This is what it means. And at the beginning of the game, the desk is completely distributed between players such that each player has exactly at least one card. Okay, so it is distributed initially in a way that each player in the starting is having at least one card. Now let's read the problem statement further. So it says that the game goes on as follows. So the rules of the game are now given to us. So it says that on each turn, each player chooses one of their cards. Okay. So when a player's turn comes in, so he will choose a card, one of the card, whichever he wants, and he will put that on the table so that other players don't doesn't see which card they choose. Okay, so that basically he will each player will choose one of their cards and put it on the table so that other player doesn't the second player or the other player doesn't see which card they choose. Okay, after that both the cards are revealed, both are revealed, and the player value of whose card is larger takes both of the cards in his hand. So basically what will happen, first of all, they both of them will be putting in their card in such a way that the other player doesn't know which value of card has been picked. After that, once that is done, so both of the after that you will check that what is the value of the card. If the player who is having the player who will be having a card with a bigger value compared to the other player will take away both the cards in his hand, right? And you have to note that all the values of the cards are different, and one of the cards which is exactly greater than one okay, every card may be played any number of times, any amount of times you can play a card. Okay, so let's say you want to put the card with the number n, so you can put that any number of times. The player loses if he doesn't have any cards, so the player will lose when he does not have any cards. Now this question is pretty interesting for all of us, because how do you deal with such a question? So let's read the problem statement further. Okay, because if you will see this, so this is a lengthy question, but I don't think that its solution will be too much lengthy, right? Let's read the problem further. Since this is a game theory problem, so that is why sometimes it can be a bit long, but only you have to think it, and the code part will be not be very long. So what you have to do is, for example, suppose that n is equal to 5, the player has cards with value 2 and 3, and let's say that n is equal to 5. Okay, they are saying that, let's say n is equal to 5 and player 1 is having the cards. Which cards is the player 1 having? Player 1 is having the cards 2 and 3. Okay, let's say player 1 is having the cards 2 and 3, and player 2 is having the cards 1, 4 and 5. Okay, now let's see further. So there can be one of the possible flow of the games can be that player 1 can choose the card number 3, right? And the second player may, let's say he chooses card number 1. So in that case, since 3 will be greater than 1, so player 1 will get both the cards, right? After that, player 1 will be having 1, 2 and 3, and player 2 will be having 4 and 5 only. After that, let's say player 1 chooses the card 3 again, and player 2 chooses the card 4. So player 3 is player 2's card is 4, so he will be having a better card, so that is why he will be having a card with a bigger number, so that is why player 2 will take 3 and 4 with him. So player 1 is left with 1 and 2, and player 2 is left with 3, 4 and 5, right? After that, what will happen? The player 1, let's say he chooses the card number 1 and player 2 chooses the card number 3. So again you can see that player 3 will be easily able to take the cards, right? After that, player 1, let's say, chooses the card number 2, that the only card that he has, and player 2 chooses the card number 4 or any card. So after that, what will happen? He will win. Player 2 will win again. He will take all the cards, and player 1 will be left with no card. And in this way, player 2 will win. So both who will win if both the players are playing optimally? Both the players are playing optimally. Both are playing to win. So you have to tell which player will win, and it can be shown that there is a winning strategy in this question. So what will happen? You will be given t test cases, and the first line of each test case will contain 3 integers. That is n, k1 and k2. Okay, so you will be given n, you will also be given k1 and k2. Let's read the description. So what will happen? First of all, you will be given, like, is it clear up till now? Up till now, is the at least the problem statement clear to everyone? Then we can discuss upon the test cases as well. Okay, so you will be given n, you will be given k1, and you will also be given k2. So let's see what is k1. So n value, let me see what is the n value. Let's say the n value for this problem is this. Okay, let me just copy this part. Okay, right. So let's say the n value is 2. Okay, if the n value is 2 and the k1 value is 1, okay, k1 value is 1, that means only one array, one element will be there in the k1 array, right? If the k2 value is 1, so only one element will be there in the k2 array as well, right? So what will be given is, it is given that the first player is having the k1 array, that is the cards that he's having is k1, that is only one card he's having, and after that he's having the card 2 and k2 is having the card 1, right? Okay, so what you have to do in the output, let me just quickly check. You have to print yes if the player 1 wins, and you have to print no if the second player wins. Okay, this is what you have to do. So let's see. So if k1 is equal to 1, right, k1 is having a card which is 2 and k2 is having a card which is 1. So which player will win? K1 is having a card 2 and k2 is having a card 1. So 2 is greater than 1, so that means k1 will get both the cards. So now k1 will be having 2 and 1 as well. So that is why player k2, while on the other hand k2 is having no card with him, right? So that is why k1 wins, matlab that means player 1 wins. So that is why you will print a yes for the first case, right? If the first case is clear to everyone, then please give a +1 in the chat quickly. And now let me see the second test case as well for this problem. Okay, right, perfect. So let's have a look at the second test case. So let's say n value is 5 and the number of elements that you are having, player 1, the number of cards that k1 is having is player 1 is having is 2. The number of elements that player 2 is having is, let's say, 3. So the player 1, let's write player 1. So player 1 is having which cards? Player 1, let's say player 1 is having the cards 2 and 3, okay, and player 2 is having the cards 1, 4 and 5. Which player will win? Just tell me that. Which player is gonna win? Which player is gonna win? Which player is going to win? Just quickly tell me that. Which player is going to win? Which player is going to win? Is player 1 going to win or is player 2 going to win? Just quickly tell me in the chat. Which player is going to win? Is player 1 going to win or is player 2 going to win? Player 2. Why? Why? Why will player 2 win? Just quickly tell me that. Why? Why? Which? So you are saying that player 2 will win. Ria is saying that player 2 will win, and she's saying why? I want to know the reason. Why? Why do you think so? Why? Why is that? Why is that so? I want to know the reason behind this. What is the reason for your answer? What is the reason for that? Just quickly tell me in the chat. Just quickly tell me in the chat. It is having the largest number, right? Since this player is having the largest number, that is 5. So that is why he will, every time he can place this card 5 and he will be able to win, right? He will be able to win, right? Everyone agrees on this, right? Okay. So what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? What should we do further with this? That is what I am asking. What should we do further? Right. So let me quickly tell you. Basically, what you will be doing is you will be taking all the array of the elements of the array as input, right? Everyone is clear with this? So basically, if the n value, the maximum value is with playing optimally, always big card can be shown. Yeah, right. That is what I wanted to say. So long n comma k1, let's say k2, and let's say I have first of all let me take the inputs. So let's say I take n, then k1, then after that I will take k2, right? And once I'm done with that, so I'll take a of k1 and I will take a b of, let's say, k2, and once I'm done with that, I'll also be having an I, and let's say I have a flag variable which is initially 0, right? So what I'll do is I'll run my loop. So I starts from 0, I is less than k1 and I plus plus. After that I will take c in, a of I, right? I'll take the elements for a as an input, and if my a of I, if it is equal to n, then I'll mark my flag as 1, right? I'll mark my flag as 1. Everyone will agree to that, because I'll mark my flag as 1 because I'll say that the biggest element is with the nth, the largest card, that is n, is with the first player, right? After that I'll take the input for the second player as well. After that I'll take the input for the second player as well, right? Everyone will agree to this. I'll do a simply k plus plus, and once this much part is done, after that what I'll do, I'll simply take the second as an input, right? I do not need to check for that, and I will, in the end, I'll simply check that if my flag is equal to 1, so in that case I will print a yes. That means my first player is going to win, because he's having the biggest card with him, largest possible value card. And otherwise, in other cases, you will print a no. Right. Let me just quickly run it for the sample test cases, and then we can try to submit it. Let me see if it works fine or not for the samples, and then we'll see further. Okay, so a slight error. I make a lot of compilation mistake these days. Okay, is there any other error? Okay, another error. Let's quickly see that whether we get the, so you can see we got a yes and no. Let me just submit this problem now and see whether it works or not. Explanation बहुत बड़ी थी मतलब what do you mean by that? बहुत बड़ी थी, BDI थी, whatever. Right, so let's see whether it gets accepted or not. It is in queue running on test case 1, 2, and it got accepted, right? So you can see that this problem also got accepted. It was pretty easy, I would say. But if you can see that what is the thing with this problem, right? Question was lengthy, yeah, right. This question was lengthy, but can you read it? Can you read it quickly? Or if you will just go through this question once and just try to read it, so you can submit it within 2 minutes, right? Within 2 minutes. How do better coders or red coders or candidate masters and masters submit this in within 1, 2, or 3 minutes, right? They do this because they just go through the problem once quite quick, and they see, right, that that is the thing. Explanation of the problem statement is quite large, but the problem is pretty simple. That is the thing. So you need to practice, you need to put some tags, and you need to practice, you need to give virtual contests, and in this way you will be able to improve a lot. Okay, right, so let us move ahead with the third problem for today, and let's see what the problem has to say. Okay, that is what I'm saying. You need practice. Everything, practice is everything. Now you have a smaller problem statement. You can see that this problem statement is not that big, so I hope that there will be no complaint for big problem statement now for this problem. So the problem name is 01 game. Let me just make some space for this problem. Okay, the problem is named as 01 game. Okay, let's read the problem statement now. So the problem says that Alice and Bob are playing a game. Alice and Bob are playing a game, and initially they have a binary string which is S. So initially you are having a binary string which is S, and it consists of zeros and ones. So this binary string, what is the binary string? Binary string basically consists of zeros and ones, and both of them are playing alternatively. Like both of them will be taking turns alternatively. After that, what has been given is Alice makes the first move, Bob makes the second move. So why Alice makes the first move? Why do we take Alice and Bob? Because Alice and Bob, both of them are one is a male. Alice, you can say, is Alice is a female, and Bob is a male. And A for Alice, so that is why Alice comes. Alice will take the chance earlier than Bob. This is a chronological order. You can understand the chronology for this, I hope. and Bob makes the second move, Alice makes the next, and in this way alternatively they will move. So during each move the current player will choose two different adjacent characters of the string and delete them, right? So let's say if this is the string, right, if this is the string, let's say this string is 1 0. Let me take the case 1 0 1 1 0 0 and 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 1, right? Let's say this is the string, then the following moves are possible, right? Let's say Alice will start. Okay, let's say Alice will start, then she can choose, let's say these two indexes, right? She can choose these two elements, and in this way this will become what, this new string will become 1 1 0 0 and 1, right? This is what the new string will become. Now Bob will come to take the turn, and Bob will choose these two indexes, right? So you get 1 0 and 1. After this Alice comes in, and Alice has this string 1 0 and 1. So I think that she can choose this string, and now it is left with only one, right? And Bob will come in, and Bob has this string 1. So let's see what the problem says. So both the players are playing optimally, and you have to determine if Alice can win or not. Okay, if a player cannot make any move, so then that player will lose. A player will lose when he cannot make any move. If a player cannot make any move, so that in that case he will lose. So in this case you can see, for this case Bob will lose, right? Bob will lose because since the string is only left with 1, so he cannot make a move, right? Is this problem statement clear to everyone? Just quickly tell me in the chat. Is this problem statement clear to everyone? Just quickly comment down below so that I know about that, and then we can begin ahead. You have to print DA if Bob Alice wins, and if Alice doesn't win, then you have to print NET, that is no. Okay. Is the problem statement clear to everyone? Just quickly tell me in the chat. Only then I'll be able to move ahead. Okay. Clear. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So let me just make some space for us to work upon. Right. Okay. Let's just copy the test cases. Let's say you have been given 0 and 1. Okay. Let's say if you have been given 0 and 1. So in that case, what will happen? Alice will take the chance, and Alice will take this 0 and 1. That is both the indexes that are different. And in this way, Bob will come, and Bob will find an empty string. So that is why Bob loses and Alice wins. So you will print DA, right? That is, yes, Alice wins, right? Let's say if you have 1 1 1 1 and 1, right? If you have a string like this, so in this case you can see that Alice will not be able to make any move, right? Because there are no two adjacent characters such that both of them are different from one another, right? So that is why Alice loses, right? Alice will come, and since she cannot make a move, so that is why Alice will lose, right? Everyone agrees to this? Like Alice will loses, right? So you have to print NET. Okay, that is no in Russian language, right? Let's Alice loses and Bob wins. Yeah, right. Okay, let's see the next case. If it is 0 0 1 and 1, so in this case what will happen? In this case Alice will come in, and Alice will choose this. So now you are left with 0 1. Now Bob comes in, and he takes this. So this the after that what will happen? This will be taken by Bob, and when Alice comes in, so she'll be having an empty string. So that is why you will print NET, that is Alice loses, or you can say Bob wins for this case, right? Everyone agrees on this. Everyone agrees on this. You can see DA, NET, and NET, right? Everyone agrees on this. Okay. How should you approach? What will be your approach? Now the problem statement is clear to everyone, right? I guess everyone is clear with the problem statement. How do we approach? How do we approach this problem? How should we approach this problem? I want to know from all of you. What should be your optimal approach? What will be your optimal approach for this? What can be your optimal approach? What can be the optimal approach? I want to know the answer from all of you. I won't be telling the answer. I want the answer from all of you. Just quickly tell me. What will be the optimal approach for this problem? Quickly tell me in the chat. Only then I'll be moving ahead. Just quickly tell me. What can be the optimal approach for this? What can be the optimal approach for us? Just quickly tell me in the chat. What can be the approach? Should we take Shritam, just consider the length of the string. Okay, let's say if I consider the length of the string, after that what after that? You are so I think I have to count 0 1 or 1 0 then the length. Do you think that, okay, let's say you are saying so Shritam is saying, also if you haven't liked the video, if anyone hasn't liked the video, so they can consider liking the video, right? Okay, so let's say if I have this string, let's say I have 0 0 0 and then I have 1, okay. If I have this string, right, you are saying that if the string size, so the size is for this string is 4, so you are saying that is net, if it is even, then net, you are saying that net, that is no, okay. So you are saying that if I choose this much part, so Alice will choose this much part and then we'll be left with 0 0. So in this case, who wins? In this case, Alice wins. And you are saying your answer for this is net, that is no. You are saying that no, that means that Alice loses, right? But in this case, you can see that Bob will not be able to make a move. Bob will not be able to make a move, right? But the actual, you are saying a net, but that the answer is exactly DA for this case, right? Can you understand it? Can you understand your mistake? Can you understand your mistake? Seti, I'll come to your solution. I'll come to your solution as well. But first, let's clear this, right? You cannot be dependent on the length, right? For this, the actual answer is DA, that is yes, because Alice wins. Bob is not able to make a move when Bob comes in, right? Is Shritam, is this part clear to you, right? Your move will not, you will be not be able to do this, right? Your move won't be optimal. Is this part clear to you? Just quickly tell me that in the chat. Is that part clear to you? Is that much part clear to you that this will not work? Length, how? Yeah, right. Okay. Let's move further. Let's think of some other cases, right? Seti is saying that Shetty is saying, I think I have to count zeros and one. How will you count zeros and ones? How will you count you are saying that you will count. So this guy, Sethi, is saying that count the number of zero ones and ones and zeros, right? You have to count the substrings. He's saying that let's count the number of substrings that are 0 and 1 and 1 and 0. But let me ask you a question. Let's say I have this. Let's not take this. Let's take the sample test case that has been given to me only. Let me just write it. The sample case is what? 1 0 1 1 0 0 1. Okay. So this case is 1 0 1 1 0 0 and 1. So what will be the total number of zeros and ones in this? Just quickly tell me. The total number of ones, just tell me number of ones that number of 0 1, and after that tell me number of 1 0. Just quickly tell me that. Number of 0 1 and number of 1 0. Just quickly tell me about that. Then I can consider, okay. You are saying number of 0 1, right? So this can be 1 0 1 in one of the cases, then this can be one of the cases. So you are counting it. Number of 0 1 is 2, number of 1 0 is only 1, right? What will you do after this, right? You are saying this, but do you think that this will be, do you think that the number of count of 0 1 will be static? Do you think that the count of 0 1 is static? Is the number of is the count of 0 1 in the initial string static? Is it static? Does it not change with time? First of all, let me ask you, is the count of zeros and 0 1 and 1 0, is it static? Does it remain the same while applying the operations? While applying the operations, does it remain same? Yeah, right. For this also you are saying that too. What will you do after this? What will you do after this? This will not work. Ria is saying this will not work. Why? If it will work, will this work? Will this work? Will this work or not? That is the question. Will this work? That is the question that I want to ask. Will this work or not? Will this work? And is the count of zeros and 1 and 0 static? Just tell me about that. Is the count of zeros and ones and zeros static? It will change. Definitely it will change, man. It will change. The reason for that, what's the reason for that? Yes, it changes with time when we remove. Yeah, right. That is what I was trying to say. It will definitely change with time. How it changes, so let's quickly discuss that as well. Let me make some space for us to work on. Okay, so let's say you have this case. So let's say I choose this part 0. These two are different, so 1 1 0 0 and 1, right? I can choose this, then I have 1 0 and 1. So you can see that in this way it will be changing, right? It will always be changing, because if you are saying you let's say you remove this part. Okay, let's say you remove this. If you remove this part, so then in that case this will be a 0 and 1 and 0, or you can say this will be uh, either you can make a pair of 0 1 or 1 0 with this one, right? That is why it changes with time. So how do you approach this? Any other approach? Any other approach? Any other approach for this problem? Just quickly tell me. Any other approach that you can think of? Any other approach? Just quickly tell me. Any other way? Any other way? Notice that this was a problem B. Notice that this was a problem B and it was rated as 900. Can we do something? Can we do something? Can we do anything optimally? Any other thing? Any other thing that we can do? What do you think we can do? Is there any other thing that we can do? Is there any other thing? Why Shritam, why is that the answer? That is something that I want to know. Why do you think that it will work? Your approach, that is minimum of zeros and minimum of ones, you have suggested, that is fine, but why do you think that it will work? Why do you think that it will work? Why do you think that it will work? That is what I want to know from you. Why do you think that it works? Why does it work? Can someone tell me how should we approach this question? That is what I am asking all of you. Let's say this was the string, right? Being greedy, I have to think over player will lose or dynamic choose. No, you will not be choosing. That will be not possible, right? Just think, what player loses when he cannot make a move. Player loses when he cannot make a move. Cannot make a move, right? Cannot make a move. But when does a play, what is the minimum requirement for a player to make a move? That is what I am asking. What is the minimum requirement for player to make a move? For player to make a move, what is the minimum requirement? That is what I am asking. What is the minimum requirement for a player to make a move? Can someone tell me in the chat? What is the minimum requirement for a player to make a move? What is the minimum requirement for a player to make a move? That is what I am asking. What is the minimum requirement for a player to make a move? Having 1 0 or 0 1, right? That means having at least 1 0 and 1, right? You need to have at least one number of minimum ones that you need. Minimum, you need 1 1, right? You need 1 1 minimum, and you need minimum of 1 0 as well. You need a minimum of 1 0 as well. If at least 1 1 is present, or at least 1 0 is present, right? So in that case you will always be able to make a move, right? If at least 1 1 and at least 1 0 is present, so in that case you will always be able to make a move, right? Everyone agrees on this? Everyone agrees on this? Irrespective of the fact that wherever it is present, if at least 1 0 or 1 1 is present, then in that case you can make a move, right? Let's look at this example. If you look at this example, right? So for this, Alice makes move. Alice comes and Alice can make a move. Can Bob make a move? No, this string will be reduced to 1. Can he make a move? No, he cannot. Right. Let's say I do this. Let's say I do this. Let's say I change it to this. Then you can. Then what you will say? What you will say? Alice can make a move. Can Bob make a move? Can Bob make a move? Yes, he can make a move because the string will look like 1 0 again, and he can make a move. Can Alice make a move? No, the string will be empty, and Alice cannot make a move. Right? Can you think of something? Can you think of something? How should we approach this question further? What do you think that the possible approach can be? This is a game theory problem, man. Just try to be optimal. What do you think that we can do? Let's say if I have a lot of ones and I have only have 2 zeros. So can you think of something? First of all, Alice comes in. Alice will be able to make a move. Bob comes in. Bob will be able to make a move. Then Alice comes in. Alice will not be able to make a move. What is my answer depending on? What is my answer depending on? Can someone think of something? Can someone think of something? What is my answer depending on? Just quickly tell me. What is my answer depending on? I can someone tell me in the chat what is my answer depending upon? Someone can tell me in the chat. Does it not? It is not depending on these ones. It is depending on the zeros. What is 0 not in a minority here? 0 is minimum compared to 0 is less compared to ones. Answer is depending on number of zeros. Okay. Let's say I change. Let's take another case. Let's take another case with us. Let's take this case. Let's say I take a lot of zeros. A lot of zeros. Let me write it in a much human manner. Right, 0 0 0. Then I take, let's say I take this number once. Alice comes in. Alice can make a move. Bob comes in. Bob can make a move. Alice comes in. Alice can make a move. Can Bob make a move? Can Bob make a move? No, he cannot. What does my answer depend on? In this case, what does my answer depend on? Tell me. Answer depend on what? Just quickly tell me. Depending on the number of which is minimum in the count, right? Because I'll always be able to make a move if there is at least 1 0 or 1 1. Now the answer looking at some of the test cases. Let's say we took this test case and we took another test case. Right. We took this test case as well. So you can see that the answer depended upon the minimum. It depended on the minimum of number of zeros and ones, right? Minimum of count of 0 and minimum of count of 1. Let me write it in a much clear manner. It depended upon the minimum of count of 0 or minimum of count of 1, right? Everyone agrees on this. Everyone will agree on this, right? Right. Right. Now the case comes in, who will win? Like, you get the answer depends on the minimum. Now how do you determine the winner? Now you know that how to determine the winner. That is what I am asking. How to determine the winner? That is what I am asking. How to determine the winner? Just quickly tell me. How to determine the winner? How do you determine the winner? How will you determine the winner in this case? How will you determine the winner? Just quickly tell me. How will you determine the winner in this case? Can someone in the chat tell me? How will you determine the winner? In this case, how will you determine a winner? Can someone suggest me something? Assume that I don't know how to solve it. Just tell me. If you haven't liked the video, you can consider liking the video. If you are liking the content that we are trying to bring for you all. Okay. How do you determine the winner for this case? For this problem, is there any specific way in which you can determine the winner? That is what I am asking from all of you. Is there any specific way with which I can determine the winner? Okay, Ria says that minimum of, okay, let's try and see. Okay, let's try and see. Okay, let's again write some of the basic cases. Okay, let's write some of the basic cases and see what is the approach further. Okay, if minimum of if the minimum comes out to be, let's say, 1. Okay, if it comes out to be 1, then who will win? Alice wins, right? If the minimum comes out to be 2, then Bob wins, right? Bob wins. If the minimum comes out to be 3, then Alice takes a chance, then Bob takes a chance, then Alice takes a chance, and when Bob comes to take the chance, then Bob will not be able to take, right? So that is why Alice wins, right? Everyone agrees to this. If the minimum is 4, then Alice, then Bob, then Alice, then Bob, and Alice will not be able to take the third chance, right? So that is why Bob wins, right? Everyone will agree to this. Then minimum of, if the minimum is 5, then in that case Alice, then Bob, then Alice, then Bob, then Alice. When Bob comes in to take his third chance, then he cannot do so, right? So that in this case Alice wins, right? So if it's odd, then you will print what? DA, right? If it's odd, then you will print DA. Everyone will agree to this. Everyone agrees to this. Everyone agrees to this part. If it's odd, then you will print DA. Everyone agrees to this. And if it's even, then you will print what? NET, something like this. No, that is no, right? Everyone agrees to this. Just quickly comment down below. Okay, perfect. Let's quickly implement the code for this problem. So you'll be just be given the string. Okay, let's try and build the code for this one. What does the code look like? Okay, so let me take long. Let's take count of 0 is equal to 0. Let's take C0. That means the counter for 0 is equal to 0, and counter for 1 is also equal to 0. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll take a string s. Let's take the string as an input for each case. After this, what I'll be doing is I'll be iterating, right? For I starts from 0, I is less than n, and I is less than s dot size, I is less than s dot size, and I plus plus, right? And after that I'll check if my s of I is equal to 0. So in that case I'll do a counter of 0 plus plus, right? Otherwise I'll do a counter of 1 plus plus, right? This is what I will do. This is what I will do, right? मजा आ गया सर ये क्वेश्चन करके? मुझे भी मजा आ गया लगवा के, right? So after this I'll have, let's have min. Let's say I have the answer, right? Let's say I have the answer, that is minimum of C0 comma C1, right? This is what we have. If my answer, as discussed, if my answer is odd, in that case what will I do? If my answer is odd, then I'll print DA, right? I'll print simply DA, right? And if it's even, if the minimum count among zeros and ones is exactly is this, then I'll print NET. Does everyone agree to this? Right, everyone agrees to this, I think. Let me just copy the test cases. Yes sir, access ऐसे होगा सोचा ही नहीं था. Nice one. Okay, thanks. Let's just copy this and see. Let's try to see that whether this works for the samples, and then I'll submit it. Hopefully there are no compilation errors. So no compilation errors. Okay, NADA NET DA. Okay, so it is coming correct for the samples. Let's submit it and see whether it works or not. Okay, I've submitted this problem. Let's see if it works or not. You can see that it got accepted, right? The problem got accepted. This is the solution. Let me show it to you once again. You just count the number of, you just take the string as an input, you count the number of zeros and ones, whichever is the minimum, you store that in your variable named as answer. If the minimum number of moves that you can make, right? This you can say not moves. Even if you will write move, you can say moves. Okay. If the total number of moves, the total moves that all the players can make, if it is odd. So that means that Alice will be able to make the last move. So in that case, Bob will not be able to make the move. So that is why DA, otherwise NET, right? Everyone is clear with this? Just quickly write just quickly write a +1 in the chat, right? Okay, perfect. So today, let's discuss. So today we discuss three game theory problems, right? Three game theory, or you can say game based problems, where you had to play optimally or something like that. Okay, we did this. Initially, you have to think in an optimally manner, right? This is what we did today. Uh, uh, two problems were 800 based, and one problem was 900 based. A and B, right? This is what we did. Okay, plus plus. Okay, right. So let's meet tomorrow. Okay, let's meet tomorrow. Uh, 5 p.m. Same place. I'll be the host tomorrow, and this will be tomorrow we'll be having session 3. In the description of the next video we'll share the problem links for you to solve. After, also I'll update the timestamps and the sir, have you unloaded the lead code daily problem? Basically आज आ जाएगा तुम लोग के लिए आ जाएगा. Okay, lead code daily मैं बना दूंगा today. I'll make it. Lead code daily I'll make it. So today you'll be getting the lead code daily. Okay, don't worry. Today I'll make the lead code daily for you. So session 3 tomorrow. Let's have it tomorrow 5 p.m. I'll be the host for your session. I'll be taking that session, and we'll be bringing the CodeForces editorial, lead code editorials as well. And apart from this, we bring the master classes as well, master sessions you can say, or master classes that I am currently bringing. So if you haven't liked the video, you can like the video, and that is it for today. Thank you, sir. Okay, thanks Ria, thanks Seti, and thanks Ria, and thank you everyone else who has joined. Okay, Shritam Panda as well, thank you for that. Thank you for joining in. So that's it for today. Let's meet tomorrow same time.